And guys, welcome to this very festive Held Captive Christmas. What's up, kids? What's going on? Howdy doody tooty fruities. Woo! We're here, the boys, and Lacey, of course. Lacey, thank you so much for being here. Hello.
Hi, guys.
Where is here?
Oh, that's a good point.
This is strange and different, and I'm scared.
So I guess where I live, they can just turn off the electric for 8 hours for maintenance. So we're at Zane and Lacey's.
What up?
It's a nice little quaint little spot.
We're in the production loft.
Yeah, this is where Lacey has to listen to us say the same dumb jokes over and over again for hours and hours.
Yeah, welcome to my mini office. It's a little cramped, a little bit tinier.
Made it festive.
It probably doesn't look that different.
It probably doesn't
because of the way we have it set up, but it's
But I'm
much
just letting
different.
you guys know it's a little tight in here. It's a little baby office.
Yeah. If any of us have bad breath, everyone else knows. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know why I said it that way.
Are you trying to tell me something?
Anyway, guys, today we're talking about Better Watch Out. After a night of drinking with the creators of Better Watch Out, they were debating the logic of the Home Alone paint can scene. You know, the one where Joe Pesci gets creamed, or maybe it was the other guy, I can't always remember, by a paint can. Well, anyway, without any more spoilers, let's talk about the Australian horror Christmas film, Better Watch Out.
Oh, wow. That was the shortest intro ever.
The thing is, the movie is even the way it's marketed as like trailers and everything, the early trailers for it, as well as like the plot synopsis online, it doesn't give away a lot of what the plot's going to be. So I'm trying to keep it really spoiler free in this introduction. But when we get into the spoiler section, we're just going to dive all in. So right now, you guys are safe. If you haven't seen it, you should go see it. It's on Peacock. I checked. It's actually on a lot of free ad-supported services right now. At the time we're recording this, I'm sure it will be by the time it's up. So definitely,
it's a Christmas movie, and we're going into Christmas season. I'd be surprised if they didn't keep it on.
Yeah, so you guys should check it out. I'm just gonna say at the top, I recommend it. But this is both your guys' first time seeing it. How do you guys feel about it now that you've seen it? Because I've been hyping it up a little bit. I've been like, listen, I don't know if it's the best horror Christmas movie ever. There's Black Christmas and a lot of other great ones, but this is one that's definitely slept on.
It's definitely more, I think, thrillery.
Yeah.
Than like full-blown horror.
I agree, yeah.
It's definitely a different vibe for Christmas.
I feel like a lot of things have tried to do Christmas horror, and it really fell flat. This felt more so like a horror movie that just so happened to take place at Christmas.
Exactly.
I don't know. There's so many elements that are like Christmas involved, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you're right in the sense that it could work on not Christmas
as a setting.
Yeah.
But it doesn't try to force itself like all the bad Santa movie, not literally bad Santa, but all the
Evil
movies where
Santas.
they're like either evil Santa or it's like, what's the new action one with Hopper from Stranger Things?
I think it's isn't it Deadly Night or something like that?
Violent Night.
Violent Night, yeah.
Violent Night, yeah.
That looks fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I
by the way.
will say, I think this movie could take place in a different like season, but for your intro, what you said about the paint can is, I guess, the reason why it's Christmas.
It's the whole reason why. So the interesting thing about this movie is it was all shot in Australia. It has all Australian actors and actresses, which later on became pretty prominent, like, you know, not spoilery, just a factual thing. You look on IMDb, Dacre Montgomery, the dude who's on Stranger Things and the Power Rangers movie, he was in this movie. And he's really good in this movie, by the way. I love his character in this movie. But it was a really small budget. Oddly enough, I think the highest paid actor on set was Patrick Warburton as the dad.
Yeah.
You might know him as Joe from Family Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in like everything, Office Space, you name it. But it was a fairly low budget movie where the setting needed to be Christmas based on the origin of the film.
Yeah.
So they literally had all this fake snow, and when there was any sort of, I guess you could say, necessary animals or things like that, they had to use things that were native to Australia.
Yeah.
So you guys picked up on that instantly, and we can get into that in spoilers, but you guys were like, that kind of animal is not going to be anywhere in the U.S. just openly in somebody's house, but okay.
If it is, you should seek help.
Yeah.
If it is just seppuku.
Call a goddamn zookeeper.
Yeah.
Like, not
Call
even
Kevin James.
An exterminator will not do. Get somebody who's just like good at wrangling creatures.
Yeah.
Get like whatever Steve Irwin's kid's name is to come to your
I
house.
don't know. If you're on the West Coast,
I think it's Robert Irwin. I love his.
Shout
you're
out,
on the
Rob.
West Coast. There's
Love you.
There's some scary critters out there. You know,
For sure.
like scorpions and stuff.
Yeah, you start getting into any desert, even the man-made desert in Michigan from
You
when
might be
the
able
Chicago
to find a scary spider like that out west. I don't know,
Yeah.
but where we are, I would. Well,
where there's snow.
yeah.
That's the important
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that they aren't in the U.S., but where there's snow.
Big crazy insects, I feel like, don't do super well in colder climates.
Yeah. I mean, we've all but it's a spider, guys. I mean, it's a spider. There's a
Yeah.
spider element to the movie. We'll get into it in spoilers. It's not a big spoiler at all, in fact.
No.
But
There's a spider in
There's
the
a
movie.
spider that is about the size of a fucking
Hand.
Trans Am,
Yeah.
and it should not be there. But what did you? So we talked about the setting. What did you guys think of it? Like, how does it rank for you?
I would say it's probably in my top, like, alternative Christmas movies, like ones that aren't just like proper Christmas movies where it's like Christmas with a twist. I would say it's towards the top of that. As far as being a horror thriller, I'd say it's somewhere in the middle to high tier. It's a good movie. I enjoyed myself watching it. It was a lot of fun. It had some weird little twists and turns. I found myself liking it, and I'll probably end up revisiting at some point.
It's really good on the revisit.
Yeah.
Because you notice things you didn't notice before, and it makes it a lot more fun when you know where it's going. Because maybe you guys did know some, and we'll get into spoilers, but maybe you guys did know some elements of where it was going. But a lot of people who hadn't seen it before, when they watch it, they think it's going to be one thing, and then it ends up being something completely different. So if you're looking for an experience like that where your expectations are kind of subverted, this is a good pick for you, I think. Especially if you're looking for something kind of creepier, kind of more thrillery around the holiday season. You don't just want to watch Elf for 4 Christmases again. Or what's the really bad one?
12 Christmases?
What's the other
No,
Vince
that's my
Vaughn?
life.
What's the other Vince Vaughn movie? It's got Paul Giamatti in it. Fred Claus. If you don't want to see Fred Claus again,
I was going to say
which
the one
you
where
don't.
he's donated a whole bunch of sperm.
That's not a Christmas movie. Delivery Man.
Can it not? Is it
Is
not a Christmas movie?
No, it's just about a dude who gave up a bunch of his sperm. A whole lot of it. Anyway, Lacey,
Yes.
your thoughts. Better watch out.
I didn't know what to really expect at first. When you said horror, I expected like things that go bump in the night kind of horror. It's
And
not quite that.
It does make you feel that way at first.
It does, yeah. I liked it, like watching it all together as a group. I thought that was a good thing because you can't. I don't know. It was just more fun that way.
I think
Yeah,
we
it's a
just
group.
If I
It's a
was
great
watching
movie.
As a
it by
group, we just
myself,
love
I don't
watching
think I
horror
would
movies
enjoy it
together.
Well,
as
I mean, it
much.
depends. I think if we all watch Holy Mountain together, we might not be as excited. You know, like
Yeah.
there are things that are good on an individual level, and then there are things that are like a good group watch.
However, when it's Christmas time, I like the warm and fuzzies.
I hear that.
I like the feel good movies.
My girl
'cause
turns on like
this movie's
the,
like
the
Listen,
Frosties
Elf
and-
slaps.
Oh,
like
I
we
love
can talk shit on Fred Claus all day, but Elf is a
Yeah.
fucking iconic movie.
Yeah.
All right.
It brings the joy. It sparks happiness.
Or what's another Christmas one that people
Miracle
always
on
sleep on?
34th Street.
Oh, I
love
was in a radio play on that
I
for
love that one.
for a big company.
I like A White Christmas.
I will not
like
say
the
your name.
animated, Rudolph and Frosties.
You
and
like
all
those
that happy
weird
feel-
like stop
Yes,
motion?
Absolutely.
I hate those so
It's my
much.
favorite.
I always wanted to die when Heat
Oh,
Miser would come on the television.
That's my favorite part.
Oh,
Heat
boy.
Miser and Frostmiser.
We have found somewhere where we differ.
I love
That's-
it. It makes
I
me
say
happy.
I'm just over here like I've never found joy from a Christmas movie.
But
Wait,
anyway,
none?
You
Elf
like
is-
Elf.
Elf is
Harold and Kumar, the Christmas
I haven't
movie.
watched
What
it.
about the Grinch?
Harold and Kumar
They have a
Christmas movie?
3D Christmas movie.
What about how the Grinch
What?
stole
Yeah,
Christmas?
The Grinch Stole Christmas. What about the Jim Carrey one?
Yeah, I love
You
it.
guys know why I don't like Christmas.
No, we know. I'm just saying. You're just asking to talk about it now.
No. Just like any movie that reminds me what time of year it is,
But
I'm usually just like
anyway.
pass.
Bah humbug,
Normally,
dude.
I would
Jesus.
watch more of those types of movies around Christmas time because I want the warm and cozies. I don't want to be like, scared shitless. you
Yeah.
know?
I feel that.
Yeah.
The
So,
Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
so
Favorite
Zane,
Christmas movie.
Zane, number score.
I'm gonna go ahead and give this just like I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Fair.
Yeah.
Lacey?
Okay, I'm going to go middle of the road. I'm going to give it a 5.
A little harsh, I think, but okay. I'm going to give it more the 6.5. I feel like it's not... Like, the thing is, it actually, I feel like is a little bit better on rewatch because the beginning almost feels a little meandering.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like it's like we're kind of dancing around something and we don't know what it is, and that I feel like that goes on maybe a little
A
too
little
long.
bit too long.
But it really, I also think it really pays off. So it's tough to say. So for me, 6.5. But I want to dig into the spoilers, so we'll be right back. We'll talk about some of the spoilers.
Wait, can I say? Are we still good?
Can you say what?
I want to give that sweater a 2.
Lacey, whose sweater's better if he's going to talk all this shit right now?
Obviously, Logan.
Thank you!
Duh.
Boy. But I
Let's
love this
go.
fit.
Nah, dude, it's my sweater. Especially since you're over here talking shit. Like, who are you? Anyway, we'll be right back. Welcome back, kids. What are you doing? What are you doing over there?
I'm fixing my little boy.
Anyway, into the spoilers. Right now, we're reviewing Better
Oh, no.
Watch Out.
He
Otherwise,
hung himself like that boy.
oh my God.
No.
Oh, I have a funny thing to say about that. I bet you guys didn't notice. But anyway, right now we're reviewing Better Watch Out, otherwise known as Home Alone 6, Lost in the Asylum.
I mean, that's the whole review right there.
Yeah, it's so the idea for this movie. Jesus, kid, you're starting to come off like Lucas right now.
We're going to
Oh,
have to take
fucking
away
hell.
the decorations.
Yeah, you're having too much fun.
Lock you in your room with a pencil.
Okay, so with Better Watch Out, since we talked to, I want to just mention the hanging thing because you just brought it up, and I don't know if I'll remember later. So when he's talking about his dangly little red shoes, they homage that later when that other character is being hung from the
'cause
tree.
he's got
red sneakers
kicks.
on.
Yeah.
Mm.
Shit.
Isn't that crazy how they just and they in the thing is Patrick Warburton, the character, was like, "Oh, I promise you by the end of Christmas I'll have these red shoes dangling from the tree," and then they do it.
Wow.
It's a little nice little tidbit there.
That's fucking amazing.
Also, it's been a very long time since I watched any of the Home Alones.
Yeah,
It's been so long. I feel like
I
if
hate
you
those
want
movies.
to enjoy this movie more, maybe rewatch a couple, like at
Watch-
least the first one.
You can
First
rewatch the
couple?
first one and then you can stop.
Yeah.
You
the
know,
only thing I need Home Alone for is that John Mulaney bit. 11 up and 1 over, you simple bitch.
oh, how can you get lost in New York? The streets are numbered.
Yeah.
I disagree with that bit. Getting lost in New York is very real,
Yeah.
even if the streets are fucking numbered. Okay, especially if you're a child. Macaulay Culkin, for crying out loud. That dude's got a great podcast, by the way. Bunny
Yeah.
Ears, shout out. Anyway, so yeah, that was a nice little bit with the movie. There was a lot of cool things that they did. Like they intentionally made the doorknobs higher up on the doors, so there would be this sense of like meek and weakness when like opening the doorknob and stuff like that to like the pizza delivery guy. Just like little individual things that they would put in the film to kind of give you that sense of fear, or
And
that
that's-
there was going to be this looming presence that was coming.
It made
that never came.
it made everybody feel so diminutive, like just so tiny.
Yeah.
Like when the girl like goes to open
Yeah,
up
when
the
she
door,
opens and then
she
you see
looks-
this skyscraper pizza guy, and then when they're watching the movie together, there's there's somebody at the window, and it seems like the outline is super tall.
Yeah.
But then when you go outside, eventually you see that somebody was standing on top of something
Mm-hmm.
to look that tall in the window.
And I feel like that made the movie work so well too, because you weren't exactly expecting how it ended up. Like, you were expecting this outside source to come in, like,
See,
a
Zane's saying he
screen type.
expected it. I don't agree. I feel like it's hard to get right away.
As soon as the kid was talking about how he was like he had come up with a plan, I was like, this is gonna be some really fucked up.
I don't
and they
feel
were
like
talking.
it gave it away right at the beginning.
I don't.
Though,
I
when
don't
all
feel
those
like
little
they were.
elements
I don't feel like they
in
were
play.
overt with it. I feel like that throughout that whole little intro sequence before you figure out that it's actually the kids, they're like, it feels just far enough away to where if they did the other thing, I wouldn't find it weird. But they laid it out well enough to where when it was the kids, I was like, fuck yeah, it was the kids. Like, right out the gate, as soon as the kids started acting really weird, I was like, the kid's going to be the bad guy. And then some shit happened, and I'm like, maybe the kid's not going to be the bad guy. And then he did some more creepy shit, and I'm like, that kid's the bad guy.
The cool thing about that actor, I can't remember his name right now, he did such a great job because at first, when you're watching the film, he uses the fact that he's a younger person as a strength because we tend to accept bad acting from children, right? Like, we are always like, oh, that kid isn't that great, but it's a child actor. So when he was acting like he was scared and it wasn't believable, he was such a good actor that he was pretending to act bad.
Yeah.
And you bought it because he was a kid. And then when that flip changes and you see that he's this fucking maniacal weirdo, it's that amazing change, and you're like, oh, this kid's despicable.
He did a very good job.
This kid is a better actor than any of the actors in E.T.
Oh,
Oh my
stop.
God! Why are you even bringing it up?
Yeah.
Because he's the worst.
Jesus.
Continue on. He did a great job.
Yeah.
He did a
He made me
fantastic
very
job.
uncomfortable the
Yeah.
whole
And then
time.
the other kids, the friend and then the teenage girl watching him, they were swiped up for M. Night's The Visit after this movie, which was also great. They played
Yeah.
siblings in that movie. I don't know if you caught that or if you recognize them, but he was the rapping kid in that movie, if you ever saw it.
I did not watch The Visit.
Oh,
I
shit.
don't know.
I saw it. I saw that it
I
was
need
happening.
To.
Wait, you guys
I
haven't
don't
seen
get
it?
much into
Avoided it.
Movies,
Oh, dude,
and I
they're
don't think
so
I've watched it.
Listen, the movie has varying
They-
opinions.
They go
but
to their
it's kind of a good
grandparents.
movie. I don't think it's a good. I like the movie. It's not good, but I like it.
I just like his
So
style
just-
of movie, except for Avatar. Just throw that out. Even though they might not be the best, there's like a soft spot for
It's
those
so-
movies.
It's
I've
kind of like
only-
a found footage-esque movie,
oh,
and but it's from the perspective of this teenage girl making a documentary.
So I've only seen
It's
the
very
trailers.
interesting.
Huh.
Let me know. Is this correct? Potential spoiler. It can't actually be a spoiler because I've not ever seen the
No,
movie.
it could still be
I've
a spoiler.
only
It could
seen-
still be a spoiler. It could still be a spoiler. Just because you heard
Okay,
it from somewhere else doesn't mean it
skip-
doesn't spoil
no,
it.
No.
Is
I've
this
only seen the
necessary?
trailers. It's the kids go to their grandparents and then their grandparents try to eat them, right? Their grandparents are monsters or they're taken over by
I think you
monsters.
should see the movie because that's not a great description of the film at all. I would say no. I
you
really
might
don't.
be thinking of something else.
No,
Internet,
I
tell
think
me.
I think he's got the right thing, and he looked at the ads wrong,
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
in my opinion. But hey, you can see the movie and think differently. Whatever.
That's not this
I've only
movie.
seen the trailers.
We're not talking.
This movie.
Yeah, this movie.
I loved the friend.
Yeah, he was a great
Fucking
character.
Crushed it the whole time. Every the 3 times that I kept thinking he was gonna die, I was like, no, don't kill him.
You're gonna love him in The Visit. I swear, he's so good in that movie. I know we keep talking, but the reason why I bring it up is because they got picked up and put in that film based on this film, so that's why it comes to mind.
Well, do you know when this movie came out?
I think it was 2017, 2016. It was shot, and then it had a different name,
Oh.
and then it was re-released in the U.S. with Better Watch Out. I can't remember what the original name for it was. It might have been like The Holidays or something odd like that. I can't remember. If you look it up on Google, it has both names. I just can't remember the other one right now. But yeah, it had a larger re-release. I think in large part because some of these actors totally blew up, like Dacre, and then those two were in the M. Night movie, and then the other kid was in some movies. So, I mean, everybody in this
I feel
they
like
acted
I've
really
not-
well.
I feel like I haven't seen the kid who played Lucas, like the big bad of
I
the
think
movie.
there's something. I just can't remember it right now.
Because he fucking crushed
Yeah,
this.
I mean, he did. It's his movie for sure. Like, he's the most
can Google
despicable,
it.
evil fuck ever.
That's
You have your phone.
I could Google it. I don't know.
I'll Google it right now, Zane.
Child murderer from Better Watch Out.
You could just
and
type
other
in
stuff.
"Better Watch Out" and then it shows the cast.
I can also find out what the other name was by doing this. Let's just do it that way. 2016. Okay, so I was on point with that. It was called Safe Neighborhood originally.
Safe Neighborhood. I like Better Watch Out.
Because he talks about like, oh, well, why don't you have a security system? It's a safe neighborhood. We've never needed one.
Yeah.
Oh, he played Peter Pan in the Hugh Jackman Peter Pan movie,
Oh, okay.
which was actually before this. So I don't know. And other than that, I don't see much. He was in A Wrinkle in Time, main character in Wrinkle in the main boy in Wrinkle in Time, and he's going to be in Kraven the Hunter. So
Oh, okay. All right.
There's going to be a Kraven the Hunter movie?
yeah, dude, Aaron
Dope.
Taylor Johnson. You didn't know that?
No, I did not know
Sony will make anything they can.
that. Yeah.
They're like, we have Spider-Man stuff.
I know that they've been in talks about, you guys have been missing the news reviews. That's just one of those things that I love. I'm really excited about that.
The Kraven the Hunter movie?
Yeah.
I'm not. Anyway, I'm sure it's going to suck. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do with Kraven the Hunter without Spider-Man, but whatever.
Well, they've been talking with the MCU about bringing Spider-Man into their Sony.
They're going to have to use... It doesn't matter. Well, this is not the point of the review.
Okay.
If you guys want us to talk about Spider-Man, tell us in the comments. We're here to talk about Better Watch Out. Okay. The paint can scene.
Oh my god!
Now, did you know that was going to happen? Because that's the whole crux of how this film even came to be, was a conversation about that particular scene and how they were basically, the guys who made it, they were just talking shit and being like, Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone is one of the worst horror villains of all time, if you really think about it. It's basically Don't Breathe with a kid.
Yeah.
Somebody's trying to break into his house and he decides that this is an opportunity to torture them.
Yeah, that's as soon as he brought him to the stairwell and had the paint can, I was like, he's gonna Home Alone him, because I just remember Franny. I think Franny, who's not on this episode with us, she's sleeping somewhere
She's
else.
literally in the living room sleeping right now.
She had a long day at work. We'll forgive her on this one. But no, she was like, what is he doing with that paint can? And I'm like, bro, he's gonna Home Alone him. Don't do it.
I didn't think it was going to end the way it ended. I thought, maybe it would just knock him out, or it would miss,
Nah, dude.
or maybe it would hit the friend.
When it first fucking swung through with that force, I was like, this is a masterclass in tension building, because this is uncomfortable.
It was.
At all points in time.
There are so many great moments, like when the friend takes off through the yard and you don't know what's happening yet, and you just hear like, and you see his whole body just fall down. Mm-hmm. That was also like a oh shit moment.
That was the moment that I was like, oh fuck, it's not the kids.
Oh, and you were like,
they brought it back in.
And then I hear Zane go, no, not my homie. They're gonna kill him like they're gonna make him cannon fodder like that.
Yeah.
And I'm
Don't
over
worry.
here like, no.
Don't worry, he'll die later.
Yeah, in the most horrific,
horrible way.
I mean that death was really emotionally challenging.
Fucked up. He's like, why did you make me do that? And he's like, he was annoying me anyway.
And then
we're
his
moving on.
voice is cracking too, so you
Yeah.
can tell like he's just this.
Toddler, just this
He
little babe.
Yeah.
Sick puppy, as they put it.
Fucking
A
hell.
young person with incredibly
think
fucked up shit going
At
on.
the paint can scene, after that, I was like, okay, this is the turning point for this film. Like, everybody is just going to die after this point because this kid is not holding back. Like, at that point, I'm like, all right, yep, everybody's going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, especially when he shot, for me, at that moment where he killed the boyfriend, I really thought that was going to be what he was going to do to everyone at that moment. Like, that's when I had that realization. But then, I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't see him framing. When I first saw this, I didn't get that he was trying to get this other dude to be framed for the murders. And when you realize that, like, the moment he starts handing him the notebook, I'm like, that's peculiar.
I did. I mean, you could tell.
And
he
then,
had a
and then
whole
at that
plan.
moment, I was like, oh, this is what it is. And I kept wondering, there's multiple shots where they highlight these red shoes on the on the, I think his name is Jordan, right? Was that his name? The guy's name?
Jeremy.
They kept highlighting his red shoes, and I was like, yeah, those are going to be dangling here soon. I can feel it in the pit of my stomach. That scene also fucked up. Also, that character, incredible. So funny. Come sit down. No.
No? like I've never felt more of a connection to a character in a movie than when the kid was like, come sit down. And he's like, no.
So
like,
good.
There are very few things in cinema that are a perfect delivery. That's fucking up there. That's really strong.
When you rewatch it, you can see just very quickly how the kid Lucas, he slides his phone over, or he slides that bag over her phone before he throws it, and it's very subtle.
I didn't catch that until he got it out of the fish tank.
Yeah, you don't notice it unless you know that's already what's going to happen. It's so subtle. It's the way he grabs the phone, and it's got like almost like a reflective moment right over the screen right when he does it.
I did not catch that.
It's really
slick,
well done. Really well done. And the spider of it all, like the way that he kept reincorporating that spider and bringing it back.
I just thought that it would. I was like, oh, it's gotta be like they just couldn't get anything on set to like just run across other than like a tarantula. And I know tarantulas are fairly common to keep, and like they're large and fuzzier, and that's what like they kept showing like a big fuzzy spider, and I was like, okay, like I guess they just like that was easier to get than a little spider and showed up better on camera.
See, I thought it was just CG
As soon as they
to begin with, and they just made it bigger.
I think parts of it are CG and parts of it aren't, but I also know that the spider in particular is not it's not native to the US. It's like specifically from Australia. I actually don't think it's a tarantula by name.
Yeah.
But I know
it doesn't look like a tarantula.
Yeah,
it's probably maybe the size of it, but it's not like as hairy like a tarantula.
It's like legit like an Australian domesticated spider.
You usually only see people keep like, as far as spiders go, like yeah, there are some people that keep just normal spiders, but I feel like tarantulas are super common to keep.
But dude, it's
that's
in
why
Australia.
I was like,
yeah. I mean there are probably tarantulas in Australia. I'm just saying that specific spider was native to Australia, and it had to do with the budget. I also love how realistically Christmassy and wintry they made everything look.
Oh, absolutely.
And I was watching some of the production stuff before, and one of the things that was so funny is they had to wear all this heavy winter gear, and whenever they weren't on, they dropped it. Like literally every single time someone wasn't on screen, they dropped it. And the one kid, the friend, he was complaining on set a lot because he's like, you know, he was really glad once they got past the paint scene because they stopped caring about his sweat because he was like wet from that situation, but they had to keep re-drying him in between because of how long he had to have like the mask on or whatever it was. And it's like it's fucking Australia heat outside and everybody's pretending it's winter. But it looked fucking really believable, like legit. It looked like a winter fest.
They could just crank the AC in wherever they were shooting. I guess the house, if they were actually shooting in that house,
but
the AC.
even then though, like they probably did because also they wanted people's breath to look a certain way.
Back in and outside and all that stuff, and I'm sure there was a lot of people, a lot of lights
in and out of the house the whole time, and there was oddly enough, it did take in large part in place at the house, but there was some stuff in the beginning where you saw her driving and it was like a car was following her, and now you learn like post the film that it was the Jeremy guy, but it wasn't in like a fucked up way. It wasn't like he was going to murder her. He was like, he felt fucked up that she was moving and all that shit, and that's why he was willing to write out this apology. But when you're watching the film, you're like, oh fuck, she's being stalked.
I never caught that. I didn't realize it was his car at the beginning.
Yeah, because you only realize it's his car later because he pulls up to the house and you see the same shot like zoom up from the street to this car.
I didn't catch that. Yeah.
I just thought they were just adding that in as like a little extra bit, like ooh, this is gonna be like somebody's gonna break into the house kind of thing, and then it could have just been a random,
just like a red herring.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's kind of how I had taken that. little bit. I did not realize that. I probably should have realized that they reintroduced it because every single. This is like a like foreshadowing, just wet dream. Like every single thing, they're like, oh hey, here's the tiniest of little details. It's about to be reintroduced later. Like they kept using everything, every conversation,
if they
every
showed
little
it, then-
thing. There's
wouldn't they?
so many things. I feel like a lot of movies do that. They show you something and then they use it because that's the rule. But this movie did it just like to such a high level that every time they showed anything, no matter how small, I was like, how are they going to tie that back in? I'm really excited to see that. And it's just like they kept bringing it back. Like obviously there's the pencil, there's a
Pencil,
couple,
yep.
but
The
like,
paint can, the
phone.
red shoes, the phone.
the mask. They
Yeah.
show really fucking quick.
The itch cream.
The itch cream,
Yep.
yeah.
And also with the itch cream stuff, at that moment you're also seeing the dude grab all the oxys and stuff and everything. And this is before you've seen all the events go down, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't even know what he's grabbing all these pills for, and then you come to find out that like, yes, it was for himself, but it was because they were about to partake in this
fucked up shit,
fucked
yeah.
up shit. It's a wild film. It's like the thought level that was put into it. You kind of question whether the kid actually didn't plan for some things to go the way they did, or
No.
if he planned every element,
planned
including like the shooting of his friend, including like, you know, he wanted to do it in like a guilt-free way because he was always going to be a loose end.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
the shooting of the friend was not planned, but it wasn't planned in the same way. Like, this is textbook toxic relationships.
Yeah.
It's like the one person is like, no, but that's the person that I care about a whole lot. And it's like, no, they don't actually care about you. They just want somebody who will hype them up.
Yep.
Like the whole time he's like, well, like if I can't kiss her and like touch her boobs and stuff, why am I here? Like why did you drag me into this? And he's like, no, I just need you to exist here to be my hype man. Like you only exist to service me. And it's a really fucked up mentality, obviously in a fucked up kid who's going through and murdering.
But
a
I
whole bunch of
also
stuff.
think that
But he wanted to keep him controlled.
yeah, but I also think that he was a real loose end. Like
He was.
There is an element of me after watching this so many times where I'm like, there could be a chance that he did plan on killing him anyway.
Yeah, I think so.
Because of how methodically thought out every single like maybe like the moment that maybe it wasn't in the very beginning, but the moment the kid was like, I don't think we should throw this paint can at this dude, I think at that moment his friend locked it in like, you're going bye-bye.
The reaction that he had, even though it's really fucked up and he's like, he was annoying me anyway, he reacted in a way that he did not want to do that, even though he didn't care if he did it. He didn't actually care about him, but he didn't want to kill him.
I could see it either way.
It's-
I think after a couple of rewatches, you'll see what I'm saying on my end
Maybe,
too.
but yeah,
But
No, I
it's
agree with Logan. I don't think he was going to make it out of this night.
I
Yeah.
don't think that he was ever going to make it out of this night, but I think that that's the one person Lucas didn't actively plan to kill. He planned out how he was going to kill the other three, and then when things happened, he was like, I have to kill him now.
Do you think that the scene where he's like got her tied up the first moment and he's like literally grabbing her boobs and stuff, is that the most awkward scene in cinema history, you think?
Yeah.
It's got to be. I don't know how you make a 13-year-old as despicable as like the dude from the last house on the left.
Yeah.
But they did succeed.
Yeah.
I mean, you just
It is
instantly hate this
Fucked
kid.
up. Yeah.
Like instantly. And it's like it's within no time at all.
Mhm.
That's a very effective way to make you instantly turn on a 12-year-old boy.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. And with that, I also think it's really successful.
Yeah.
I really liked the movie. I didn't like the mother character, and not just because she was a bitch, but because she was incredibly underwritten
Yeah.
for how important she is in the plot overall. If you really think about it, like
that was one of the big things that did.
I get kind of why they did that though. I mean, like she wasn't the main character of the film, yet she had like a big tie to him. But just having her not be as important, I think, was also good because it showed like they're growing apartness in
the
a
way
way
that she had distanced
from
him.
him.
And it is an interesting turn when you realize at the end that was almost an effort for her to come closer. Because then when she's like hugging on him and all worried about him, you kind of finally understand why he did a lot of this stuff. And it doesn't make it any better, but it does make it more interesting. But even then, when she's like being like kind of an asshole to her husband and like that's her whole character is like being unreasonable, you're just kind of like, why? What's the point? It could have been like if she was more like, I don't know, granola, so to speak, if she was more soft touch of a mother, it'd actually make more sense to me. The fact that she's so like that, it just comes off underwritten, like almost like you don't like they're trying to make us not expect this ending.
They were like, how do we make people hate the mom character? Make the dad fun and make her a bitch for no good reason.
The dad's not necessarily great either.
No.
Like when he says weird stuff like "you look stunning tonight," you're just like, okay,
yeah, like
all right,
that's
go away.
cringy. Yeah, I don't love that.
You should stop.
The
smoke through the hole in the face also upsetting.
God.
the
No, not okay.
the most fucked up thing about that, when the kids started getting really excited about it, it felt like 12-year-old boys finding something really that they thought was
they
really
nailed
cool.
that for sure.
It unsettled me so deeply
When he starts
because
holding his mouth closed and his nose closed, and you see it, it's so wrong.
it's like the way that they were like, what? Like I was like, oh no, like you were being really icky and you made me hate you, and now you're acting like a proper 12-year-old boy. This is viscerally upsetting.
Yeah.
I very much dislike the way that I'm feeling right now.
I really wish that dude, I can't remember his name right now, her current, but was it like Ricky or something?
Ricky,
like that?
yeah.
It is Ricky.
I really wish Ricky would have gotten that bat to his fucking face.
Yeah.
I was so excited when originally he hit him. The kid's literally dancing.
Yeah.
Like he might if the fucking like Fortnite dance was a thing at the time, he would have been hitting that shit. You know what I mean?
It reminds me of like the Joker, the dance on the stairs.
Well,
Yeah.
It
isn't
gave me
it?
that energy.
It really was kind of like
I
that
think
Joaquin
it's
Phoenix
supposed to
Joker.
be-
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be a reference to the dude dancing in his underwear in the like button-up
You're
shirt.
talking about Risky Business with Tom
Risky
Cruise?
Business, yes.
I don't know. That's a far stretch, I think.
It felt like
I
where
think-
he's like he's got the run of the house, so he just fucks around and does random stuff. That's how it read to me.
To me, it felt more like the snarkiness of Kevin McAllister in Home Alone.
Yeah.
It felt
I
like they
think
were
that's probably
trying
what they
to
were
pay
going for.
tribute to
Yeah.
like Kevin's shitty ass attitude, you
Yeah.
know? But hey, you know, I don't know, maybe that was the intention. It definitely was interesting to see like that switch where like the dude gets up and he's about to beat his ass.
Yeah.
And you at that moment are genuinely rooting for an
Like,
adult,
fucking
basically
let's go.
a 17-year-old man, nearly
Yeah.
a man, to beat the shit out of a 12-year-old with a bat.
Yeah.
And you're like, do it, Ricky!
Fuck it, get him.
And then he fails at it, and that's upsetting. And when he comes back around and he's like lining up the shot and knocks him out, you're just like, oh, fuck you. You're such a little
Yeah.
cocksucker. But the ending, guys,
Ugh,
that middle finger is by far one of my favorite middle fingers in cinematic.
it's so good.
It's so
Another
good.
tie back. How many fingers am I holding up?
Yeah, so good.
Because at the end, you think he's going to get away with it. I mean, everyone is dead. He managed to somehow sneak back into his room, even though his parents should have probably seen him on the roof, but neither here nor there. Whatever. Tension building. I
Yeah.
get it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, to hear that one person survived and it's her, and
It's-
she's like, haha, here's this.
Yes.
I taped up my wound.
Tape
You
is
said-
tape is good for multiple things.
Yep.
Yeah, try it back.
Tape's great for 1,000 different purposes
It was-
or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful. Beautiful.
It's so good.
And then it just ends with him staring out the window.
And you
and
just
being held by his mother.
Yep.
Yep.
So good.
It's so good.
Which also, can we talk about I know why she stopped.
Say it.
Sam,
Oh,
Sam,
that's
a
great.
monster.
That's
like,
good.
Fucking hell, that scene was raw. That
She
was
was-
a great delivery.
She was playing into like his self-hatred and like all that shit, and yeah, no,
Fuck it,
she was
just
an incredibly
both ends.
smart protagonist.
yeah.
Which is like not something that I feel like maybe nowadays teenage girls in horror films like are given a better rap. But
Well, that's-
usually babysitters in horror movies, they're not always the smartest
I
protagonists.
think that's I think that's
appreciate
probably
that
why the
premise.
play was to like make her be like that smart protagonist, be like because she's pointing out
he's fucking smart. There's no arguments
Yeah.
against that. I mean,
No.
that's kind of the issue is how smart he is.
He lays out like a master plan, but she has to match that level of intellect.
and I love that it's the
done
duct tape
so well.
that she took during her first escape,
Yeah,
and that she's just crumbled up in her hand that whole time.
yeah.
And like was like even when she was running away, she knew not to expose that shit because she knew that was like there was a very real possibility she was gonna need it. It was like, oh, you're a fucking smart protagonist. Thank you, dear God. So, is there anything else you guys wanted to mention about the movie? It's so funny that you were kind of lukewarm on it with like a 5, but I feel like
Like I said,
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like we had a really good time with this one.
I had a good
It
time
was.
watching it. It was a good time.
Is it my favorite Christmas movie?
No, the thing is,
No.
it's when you start calling it a Christmas movie. That's the problem,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's such a weird subcatery because there's Christmas movies like Love Actually, and then there's Christmas movies like Elf, and they're all technically Christmas movies. But
And it's just me personally, like, this movie is pretty good, but, like, I don't know if it's one I'll revisit often either.
Yeah.
So I give it, middle of the road. It
like
did
I
a good
said,
job.
I would think this is close to the top of my list for Christmas horror, which is a weird subgenre that is just flooded the market randomly.
I will
but
say-
I enjoyed this.
One thing I did appreciate was all the crazy, weird camera angles that they were using, like when she was falling over with the chair.
or when he
and
got
all-
into the
It
bed.
made everything
Yeah.
feel so unsettling at any given time. Like being able just that like those weird switch ups.
I feel like it put you in the action. More.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought I was going to say something else, but it went away.
you were talking about the action and the scenes and all that stuff. Yeah, I just think that. I go
I
ahead.
remember it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I do appreciate the use of the Christmas decor though, like the Santa outside the window just popping up.
Yes.
That was great. It was super campy and funny, and it
Tons of use of Christmassy
It
stuff
was-
in the movie.
Yeah.
made it a little bit more lighthearted, but still a little spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the subtle stuff, like the silhouette in the window when they're watching the movie. I mean, that's talking really subtle, but there's stuff like that throughout the whole film.
Yeah.
And even after you've gotten that reveal, there's a certain amount of it still there.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when he's walking away the first time, he's about to go get that paint can. He's like, I'm gonna find something out. We're gonna settle this argument. And if you know what's happening, you're all of a sudden like, wait, settle what? Oh, and you're like,
yeah.
no.
No.
Yeah. Oh, dude. So good. Well, I feel like if we've got everything out that we want to talk about with it, we can move on, do a little gamey game, and head out. So, guys,
Game time.
if you're still watching this and you still haven't seen Better Watch Out, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. But if you still want to see it, I'd recommend seeing it. I think that it's still like a fun little time, especially with a group of friends, and don't tell them what it's going to be because it will blow their fucking minds.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be right back. And we're back, and we're going to play a little gamey game. We're going to call it Let's Turn a Childhood Favorite Christmas Movie into a Total Shit Show. All right, who wants to go first?
I'll hit this first.
Okay.
So what if Christmas Carol, but like monster movie horror?
What do you mean, like Ebenezer Scrooge is met by the Swamp Thing?
Met by like actual threats and
Oh, like real phantoms and shit.
yeah, like just like a like Lovecraftian horror where it is this rich dude who is being thrown back into the past, the present, and the future, but he is being hunted through each of these memories or these visions by a Lovecraftian horror, just some
think
kind
that
of
could
awful.
I feel like the
Be
Jim
interesting.
Carrey animated one almost feels that way.
It does.
Yeah.
You know, because it's
It's
so
spooky.
weird and spooky.
Yeah, like I want them to just lean in because Christmas Carol's already kind of a spooky where it's like, oh, he's visited by ghosts
haunted.
and he's literally haunted.
Yeah.
But I want them
You want them to elevate
I want
that.
it to just to the nth degree to where it is legitimate terror, where instead of being abrasive to the ghost, where his life is actively in danger from the things that are trying to teach him the lesson, where it's almost like a Saw level, a Jigsaw level lesson, where it's like you're going to learn this lesson,
Make
and
it
it's
about
going
class
to
warfare.
cost you. Yeah,
I love that.
just like
A Get Out, Jordan Peele-esque style.
yeah,
Class warfare.
Just really go fucking hard on it.
I'd like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So hear me out.
yeah.
Elf is one of my favorite movies.
Love Elf.
Okay. But what if Buddy the Elf wasn't actually quite so jolly? What if he was locked up in the North Pole? He escapes. He goes to find his real dad because he hates him for leaving him and shipping him off to the North Pole, or adopted, however he got there.
Yeah.
And he goes and he stalks his actual dad, and it's this horror, scary, creepy elf dude in
Of
New
a
York.
crazy dude dressed like
It's
an
kind of
elf.
like you call it killing of a sacred reindeer instead of killing of a sacred deer, because it's
Yeah.
this younger person and there's some sort of attachment you don't know about, and he's stalking this man.
Yeah.
That
and
could be really
stalks
good.
the
Yeah.
Family.
Killing of a sacred reindeer coming to A24 soon.
But-
I like that
oh,
idea.
fucking hell. Yeah, that's good.
That'd be good. I think that could be really creepy.
And just
It could
really
be.
lean into him being crazy, where he's like,
Yeah.
I've been living in the North Pole.
Every door frame was too small for me.
He spies on the family. He kind of gets close with the kid. He,
Yeah.
could be under his bed.
Fuck, the friendship with the
Yeah.
little brother
You
would be
twist
so
that.
much creepier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yet again,
hate that.
I'm getting
I hate
killing
that,
of
yeah.
a sacred reindeer vibes. It's
Yeah.
very similar.
But I need the whole original cast to come back and do that.
yeah, Will Ferrell.
Will
Yeah.
Ferrell, just
Just
ruin
kidding.
that property that you
I think
made
it'd
amazing.
be more interesting if they did bring back the cast, but they had Will Ferrell play the dad who gets stalked.
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, that would
Yeah.
be so good.
Yeah, and then you could have some up and newcomer play the creepy
It
person
doesn't have
following
to
him
be the
around.
original cast. But you know what? I kind of want this to happen now.
Yeah, no, I would watch it
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure. Okay, so mine. All right, hear me out.
Hearing.
That's how we have to start all these.
Okay. So, my idea, which it's kind of already become a thing, but I think would make a substantially good horror movie. But it's already becoming a horror movie, but I don't think it'll be substantially good.
Okay.
The Grinch. Okay?
Okay.
Now, there is a Grinch horror film coming out. So,
There is not.
yes, there is. Yes.
Of course there is.
Yes, there is indeed.
Well, then my elf idea is not too far.
No,
away.
it's really not. My idea with the Grinch, though, is that it's like a weirdo, maybe possibly Freddy Krueger type guy, being kind of weird around the kids. He lives on the outskirts of town, and he's been exiled by the community in a really big bad way. And so he starts infiltrating the town on Christmas night and stalks them and the teenagers and the children, kind of Michael Myers-y.
Like a slasher, but set in Christmas.
but set around Christmas with Whoville and all that stuff. And I paint the Whoville people not like they're painted in the Dr. Seuss books, but these are people who, he goes to one place and there's a real family there with real issues. They're a blended family, they're stepchildren, all that stuff. He goes in there, he massacres them. The important part is I develop the town, make them really developed characters, and then this real horror comes in. And Cindy Lou Who is the Laurie Strode of my story, who has always said there's something upsetting about the way we've treated that man, and he knows that. And so, as essentially a present to her, he's willing to eliminate everyone but her, but she won't stand for it. She's gonna fight back.
Is this like when Halloween Town tries to take over Christmas? They're like, what if Halloween but Christmas? I love this idea. It's so fucked
Awesome.
up.
If anybody out there is listening to this who is in the movie industry, okay, and you take any of these ideas, we need credit.
We write scripts. Let us know.
No, honestly, just be our sponsor.
Honestly,
Tell us to sponsor the movie you stole from us. We'll do it.
Hire me to be a worker person on your set.
That's
for sure.
That's it.
We've written scripts that have shown up in in contests and stuff. Like, let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
We're
just
talented.
saying.
Just saying. But no, that would be mine.
Yeah.
And it would be The Grinch Who Took Christmas.
Nice.
So down in the comments, I want you guys to write down which movie you'd want to see the most. Who had the better of the idea of the three of us. And also, which one you liked out of each thing. You know, talk about what horror story you'd add to a Christmas classic. What did we miss out on? Is there something with Fred Claus we missed? Should Paul Giamatti be stabbed?
Whose Christmas tree mic did it better? Franny
made
his,
this one.
So that's cheating in my book.
Zane threw that one.
We try to be a little festive. You know?
Yeah,
What's
for
up?
sure. And we're working with a different studio than we usually do. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what you thought of Better Watch Out or any of these other things we talked about. And
Please comment because we read them.
yeah, we do. We
read it.
definitely read them. Randy Wentworth, shout out to you. You were kind of portrayed in the movie we talked about today. But
Stop.
Moving on.
Also, make sure to check out Zane. He maybe will exist somewhere one day. Or you can check out my personal channel, youtube.com/Logan Tyler, where I post my political podcast as well as some other extra things, little extra tidbits. I'm not allowed to promote the other thing that I do, but I do another thing. Anyway, peace out. Later, gangsters. We love you. Goodbye.
Bye.